This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Jay McLovin. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Tell you what, basketball is starting to have a little bit of hockey references in there. You got Dylan Brooks getting ejected out of the Houston game versus KD. They got all tangled up and got a little nasty. And then we got that 7-player ejection. I think even the head coaches were wanting to fight each other in the Pistons and Blazers. So, man, I'm starting to like this little physicality that we're seeing in basketball because I felt like they've kind of gotten away from that back in the old days, Tony.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. Who would have thought it would be the Pistons?
Yeah, of all, right? Wow. It's crazy.
Well, NCAA tournament, Jay, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I thought it was crazy. I mean, I don't know if we've ever, I can't remember, and I know we've had, number ones go at it like this, but 4 number ones, all 4 seeds, I can't remember the last time I've seen it where all number ones did make it into the Final Four. Clearly there were no Cinderellas like we talked about earlier, but man, I'm excited about it. I felt, Houston did a pretty good job taking care of Tennessee. And such, and Duke is looking good. Florida's looking good. Auburn's looking good. And as you know, Auburn and Florida got the matchup, and then Houston and Duke has a matchup. Yeah. And like I told you earlier in pre-show, I'm never going to get more in depth into this. I'm just giving you a general synopsis, but I'm looking forward to the bloodbath that's going to be Duke and Houston. Should
be a good one. Interesting fact on that. On the 4 number ones. The last time that happened was 2008. Yeah. The last time it happened, it was in San Antonio, where we are this year, San Antonio. And the Final Four and the finals were on April 5th and April 7th, just like this year.
Wow. Who won? Do you remember?
I do not.
It would have been nice to know who won, just to see if I wonder if Duke was in that conversation.
I don't remember who even the 4 number ones, but I seen that last night. It was 2008, and it was in San Antonio. That's crazy, and to be on the same dates, the 5th and the 7th. I thought that was pretty crazy. I tell you what, Jay, Houston, they had a hell of a time with Purdue.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a game.
Yeah. I wish I didn't watch it. I wish I could have watched it. Tomorrow I get my cable back, but yes, I've heard it was a pretty damn good game.
They got saved by the referees on that last call. That game could have maybe went in overtime, where Purdue would have had a chance to win it there, because that was definitely an offensive foul.
Yeah,
all the breaks,
but it was a good game.
Houston got all the breaks, but that happens sometimes. They got 2 or 3 calls, they can't be overturned because they can't look at them. It definitely went off Houston players, but they said it went off Purdue players. They showed the replays. It was definitely off Houston, but it was before the 2 minutes. So it came, and that happens sometimes.
In 2008, North Carolina was the number 1 overall seed.
Yes.
Kansas, Memphis, and UCLA were the other 3 that made the Final Four.
Wow. So there you have it. He got it up. I was actually by the time my internet loaded it up, he's already spit it out.
And this is only the second time in history that there's been all 4 number 1 seeds.
2008 was the first time. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. But
the damn Tar Heels. Damn Tar Heels took that one.
Well, I had originally picked. I got 3 of the 4 in the finals. I went with Michigan State to win. That's when before the tournament started. I had Michigan State as the other Final Four team instead of Auburn. And my finals still could happen. I had Florida and Houston in the finals, and Florida win it all. That was my pick when it started, before the tournament started. So, but we'll see what happens. I tell you what, Houston. Have they come out with the spread yet? I would say Duke will probably be a slight favorite and I would say, Auburn will be a slight favorite over Florida. That's just my guess.
Right. While you're looking that up, I'll tell you this. I have Houston, I had Duke, I had Florida, and I had St. John's in my Final Four. Obviously, St. John's blew my bracket very early, but I got it. I had it the rest of the way. It's just St. John's. I didn't quite get that one, but I'll tell you, Duke, I think, is the strongest team. I really do feel that. I mean, they got the number 1 offense. I think they got the number 2 defense. So they're a very well-balanced team, lots of talent, good coaching, all that stuff, right? I look at Houston. Houston has a more experienced team, and they have the number 1 defense. I don't know if it's going to be enough to overcome the balance that Duke brings to it. But I want you guys to know this. Houston's gotten a lot of disrespect in this. Everybody talks about Florida and things of that nature. I do believe 100% Duke is probably the best team in here. I think Houston, though, is 100% the second best team. And I will tell you this, 19 games, I think, win streak was what Duke came off into this tournament. And Houston's on an 18-game win streak. We've only lost 1 game the whole damn year. One, that was early on. We're on an 18-game win streak to include the playoffs, but we can't get one lack of fucking respect. Pardon my friend.
I think part of that, though, Jay, and I understand what you're saying, and I not necessarily don't disagree with you, but the fact that the conference they're in is the thing. I mean, when you look at the conference of Florida's in and Auburn's in, and Duke and their conference was down this year, but you look at especially the conference that Auburn and Florida come from, that's probably why people ain't talking about Houston. But Houston's got an opportunity to shut everybody up. If they can beat Duke and make it to the finals, that would definitely show some people. But yeah, Houston's a good team. They've been a good team for the last 5 years. So
right. I mean, Roberts and a couple other teammates, along with Kelvin Sampson, last year they got taken out in the Elite 8, but they were playing well. I mean, it's just we just don't get that respect level. And this team has gotten so much better at shooting the ball at that 3-point arc. I think we're number 1 in the nation at the 3 spot, not overall scoring, but at the 3 spot. But yeah, it's very hard for Houston. And I think you made a good valid point. The Big 12, going up against the Big 10 and ACCs, SECs. It's a little bit harder to get that respect.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt. But they got an opportunity to get it. I'm going to stick with my picks. That's what I'm going to pick when I originally started, even though I think Duke, like you said, after seeing Duke more, I think Duke's going to be tough to beat. But I'm gonna still go with Houston and Florida in the finals, and Florida win it all. That's what I originally went with. Chris, what do you think is going to happen?
First of all, Duke is a 4.5-point favorite.
Okay.
And Auburn, and actually Florida is a 2.5-point favorite over Auburn, which
Really?
surprises me.
That doesn't surprise you.
The only thing that doesn't surprise me about that is Florida's played really well, guys. Florida has played really, really good basketball. So it doesn't surprise me that they're 2-point favorites or whatever. But I am with you guys. Florida, Houston, Tony. I do got Houston. I'm going to go against the grain on you.
No, I think the weekend's games were pretty good. Houston had a battle with Purdue. That was a close one. Florida had a battle on Saturday. I didn't get to watch much of that game, but against was Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yep.
But they were able to pull that one out. Auburn is a team that's really impressed me. I watched them earlier in the year, thought they were right there as one of the better teams, and then they started struggling toward the end of the season. But since the second half of that Michigan game on Friday night, they've really turned it on, and have been impressive. And what they've done to Michigan State yesterday impressed me. I told you this on I think it was Saturday when we was talking. I think Duke's the best team in left. I think Auburn's a little bit better than Florida, but I'd have Florida and Auburn right there. I think Houston is. I had Houston as the fourth best team left going in to yesterday's games. Houston impressed me the way they beat Tennessee. I thought Tennessee would beat Houston. I'm not going to lie. The way Tennessee handled Kentucky, Tennessee had been hot. Tennessee had been hot. The way Houston looked against Purdue, kind of got a little bit lucky to win that game. All the breaks in the last 2 minutes went Houston's way. Which, hey, when you're in a tournament like this, every team gets some breaks, or you don't advance.
Yeah, Florida
that's nothing on Houston because they know what they had to do to win that game, and that out of bounds play at the end was sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, I thought he did a real good job. When I saw him, because I did get, I guess I don't have cable, so I have to watch the highlights to kind of get a feel for it, but which really upsets me. But anyway, I am going to be able to watch the Final Four. Yes. But having said that, you're right. That the way Kelvin Sampson drew up that play, yeah, phenomenal.
But then, well, honestly, that ain't the play Kelvin Sampson drew up.
I thought no, actually, I apologize. Let me go back. I was thinking of the Purdue and I think me and Tony talked about that when the ball, he had 3 seconds left.
No, it's that play.
But
Kelvin, that's not the play Kelvin Sampson came out. That's not the play he drew up.
Really?
The first option wasn't available, and the players done that on their own.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yep.
Okay. Man. Okay.
Yeah, the guy that he was supposed to pass it to wasn't there, and he sidestepped and bounced, and he turned around and he threw it to me, and I took the shot. That wasn't how it was supposed to go.
Wow.
It looked sweet as hell.
But you know what? And again, I think that's a little bit where experience comes into play, chemistry comes into play, and players just know when like you said, Tony, when the number one option is not there, look for because you only got 3 seconds, so you better make it quick.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that he didn't drop that play though, Gonzo.
I thought he did too. Yeah, I don't remember that either.
They had said it after during the press conference after the game.
Wow,
they talked about it. But no, I think it's going to be Duke and Purdue in Duke and Auburn in the championship game. I think Auburn and Florida is going to be a hell of a game. I think Auburn's size is going to be a little too much for Florida, and I think Auburn can, with their size and their athleticism, can match up with Duke pretty good. So I think it's going to be a real good national championship game.
Who do you think wins it?
I'm going with Duke to win it all.
He's going with Duke. You're going with Houston. I'm going with Florida. Auburn gets no respect.
No, but I'll tell you, Tony, like we were saying in pre-show, I really feel like I wish the seeding would have been in terms of matchups. It wasn't going to happen like this, but the way I felt like it would have been so much more or a lot better is if Auburn would have faced Houston and Florida would have faced Duke, and then had those two guys go at it. Because I really feel like the game we're going to see against Houston and Duke, I feel like is really the NCAA matchup, man. I mean, you got, like I said, number one offense, number one defense, experience versus talent. That game is just going to be stupid exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, but honestly, Jay, the way they seeded it is how it came out, because they had Auburn as the number one overall seed.
Right.
Which would make that means Florida was the number 4 overall seed.
Oh, no, they have it seeded right. I'm just saying,
and Houston was the number 3 overall seed.
Yeah. No, it's seeded correctly. I'm not saying it's not seeded correctly. I'm just saying in my mind, I wish it was that way. So that way it would have had Houston and hopefully Houston and Duke, in the final game. I feel like that would be I feel like that's a true final game. And no disrespect on Florida or Auburn, but I really felt like the way these two teams match up and what they bring to the game, it's still going to be exciting no matter what. I just wish that was the final game.
So I see what you're saying, but I think Auburn and Duke would be the most exciting game because of the way that their athleticism matches up.
See, I think Florida can be in there because of the depth. They've got a lot of depth, and I think Florida's really a dangerous team. I think for anybody to play.
No matter who wins the games, the national championship games should be a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah. Well, at this level, I mean, there's no surprises. I mean, you know who these 4 teams are, and you know what they're capable of doing. So, yeah, I mean, we're not going to get the surprise. I don't think you never say never, man. You never know what's going to surprise you in basketball or football or whatever the case may be.
Well, Joe made a good point. We're in San Antonio, so that's a little bit of advantage for Houston.
Yeah, that's literally right up the road from me. I could probably get to San Antonio within a couple of hours. If I can only get the money out of her pocket. I don't know I don't even know how much that game, the Final Four game, would cost. I got to imagine those tickets are probably going to be stupid expensive, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
I mean, I would too, and maybe that we can talk about that one tomorrow. But I just got to imagine the Final Four. I can't imagine those seats, not being several hundred, even for the nosebleeds. And I might even be undervaluing it, honestly. Yeah, I definitely might be undervalued. I think it might, because I correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to be playing where the Spurs. They're playing in the Spurs arena, correct? That's where the Final Four is, correct?
I would say it's probably in the dome.
They're probably playing in a football stadium because they want more people than just 17,000, 18,000.
They're probably in the dome.
Well, that's true.
Because like the game when Purdue played Houston the other day in Indianapolis, that was at Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts play. That wasn't where the Pacers play. They want that bigger.
Yeah, because they set up for over 30,000 there.
Yeah, it's San Antonio. I don't know what stadium do they have that holds that? San Antonio doesn't have a pro football team.
Don't they have the
They had a dome though at one time. Yeah, I remember they had a dome because
that might be worth looking up to find out where that. I was trying to find out on here and it doesn't. I'm not seeing it. I'm probably gonna have to Google that because it's not showing up on the actual feed part of it or whatever you want to call it. The Alamo Dome.
Yeah, Alamo Dome. Couldn't think of the name of it.
Yeah, they're playing in the Alamo Dome. Tickets as low as I wasn't too far off. $257.
That ain't too bad. I mean, that's
Okay,
gonna be way up there, but
carry the 1 minus the 3. That's probably about $550. What can I possibly tell Melanie I need $550 for?
I tell you what you do, man, is you use Klarna to pay in 4 app. You just put $125 down and you just pay it for 2 weeks.
Or I just got a friend named Big Glenn that's going to donate some of that big money he got over there. That's what I think I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Glenn said, I'll loan you the money, but if you don't pay me back, I'm going to send Johnny 2 thumbs after you.
I'll just hop on a flight, go to Houston myself.
Oh, well, that's one disabled guy versus another disabled guy. I think I might more chances on this one.
Yeah.
Nature's calling, man. You got it.
I tell you what, man, the Reds, man, they need to start figuring out pretty quick, man.
No, you can get into both sessions of the Final Four. That's both days, or actually all. It says the 5th through the 7th for $479. That's not bad at all.
that's not bad.
No, that's not. I would pay that much.
Yeah, because that's for all 3 games.
Yeah, that's for all three games. You can get just to get into the game for let's see, on the 5th. Which game is this one?
Well, that should be 2 games. It's still early, Glenn, on the Reds. I mean, I know it's early. We're in second place.
Yeah, that's good thing. Yeah, after Frankie and the Bam Bam Bats, kicking that ass over the weekend. God damn.
Yeah. True, they sure did. It's a long season, though. Dodgers off to a good start. Look at the start Atlanta's off to 0-4. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, they're the NL East, though. They can get back up there.
Yeah, Padres put it on them.
What's funny is I thought about making a post on Facebook. What's the quickest way to piss off a Dodgers fan is saying that the Padres win the NL West.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, I had the Padres picked. I'm not saying they were going to win the division, but I said they could be a surprise team. I don't think the Dodgers win it all this year.
You can go to both Final Four games on Saturday. If you're just going on Saturday, don't go on Monday for $280.
That's a good deal there.
You get to watch both games. That's not that bad.
No.
Now them ain't great seats. Don't get me wrong.
No.
That's sitting up high. But for $280, you get to watch. You get to watch both Final Four games. So that's not really that bad.
No, as comparison to other sports and what they charge, yeah, that's really honest. You're right. That's really not that bad.
But like I said, that's sitting up high. But for like I said, for $488, you can go to both those games and the championship game
That's not
on
bad.
Monday.
Now, that's not a bad price at all, to be honest. That's not a bad price at all. It's much more affordable. I mean, I remember when A&M was playing Texas, and those seats were going for over $1,000. So when I look at that, and I look at what they're charging right here, you said what, $400 and some odd dollars, and you get both games.
All three.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a deal. That's a hell of a deal. So then what else? What else we got, man? So Glenn, who did you pick? I think, did you say you got your teams for the final or for the finals? Who are you picking?
Hold on, I only picked one, and it was Florida.
Oh, okay. So you got
I picked
Florida coming out of there. What about Duke and Houston?
I think Houston will be in the final game. Or who's Houston play?
You had the same picks I had. Houston plays Duke.
Yeah.
I got Houston and Florida winning it all. He's got the same thing as me.
I'm just happy that Houston took care of Purdue on Saturday. See all those fans unhappy.
I take it you guys aren't Purdue fans at all.
No,
I'm a Big Ten fan, so I didn't. I'm an IU fan, but I didn't root against Purdue. I root for Big Ten. So, yeah, I'm. It was a tough loss, but hey, I mean, sometimes you don't get the calls.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always say, don't leave it to the calls. Go out there and perform. But
hey, Purdue played great though, man. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, real quick, I know I really wanted to get into this. So we were talking earlier about Aaron Rodgers, and we were talking about the Vikings, and we were talking about the Steelers. And I found it interesting. I saw the article. I don't know if y'all read the article today, but basically Tomlin came out and said, yeah, pretty good about Mason Rudolph being a starting quarterback for the Steelers. Not that we're not looking at other potential drafts, prospects, or free agents or whatever, but he actually used the word QB1 and Mason Rudolph and the word comfortable in the same sentence, which I thought was crazy to me.
He just left his crack dealer, evidently.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Now, I will say this on Mason Rudolph's behalf. At the end of the 2023 season, he did win several games going in. Matter of fact, he got him into the playoffs. So he was in the playoffs with them. So I got to give him credit for that. And then of course after that 23 season, then he went on to the Titans, and then that's when the whole Russell Wilson Fields came in.
He's a backup. I mean he's a solid backup, but he's a backup.
Sure.
I did see just a little bit ago that Aaron Rodgers had a throwing session with DK Metcalf over the weekend.
Yeah, that's always a positive. I wonder if that's him feeling out DK to see if they'll make it work and if they got chemistry and all that kind of stuff, which totally makes sense, right?
Yep.
Wow.
I think Rodgers ends up in Pittsburgh. I really do. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised.
But on the flip side, McCarthy still has not truly been named the number one. I mean, he should be the number one, but they have not named him officially the QB1. Matter of fact, we talked about this earlier. They brought in Ryan Tannehill yesterday or day before yesterday for a tryout. Now, obviously, it didn't go well because Tannehill didn't play good when he left the league. He's been out for a year, so that workout apparently didn't go well. So nothing came out of that. He left without a contract or anything, but it still shows me that the door is open in Minnesota. And I don't know if 100% McCarthy is still that person. I still think there might be a backdoor way for Rodgers to make his way over to Minnesota. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can still see the door being open, which is I'm still wondering if Pittsburgh hasn't fully made up its mind on Rodgers and Rodgers hasn't fully made up his mind on Pittsburgh. So there could be a door cracked open in Minnesota.
I think Pittsburgh's made up their mind. I think it's all on Rodgers. That's just my opinion. I think they're waiting for Rodgers to make a decision.
Wow. Because when I read that article, it just kind of the way he was so vague. Tomlin was so vague on Aaron Rodgers. Like he would not say, yes, we have done, this is our guy, this is what we want. We're just wait. I have not yet really heard him come out and say that.
Well, I wouldn't either. You're going to be negotiating a contract. I wouldn't.
No, I understand, but I mean, like you would think there'd be some sort of, and I don't know. I get it, Tony. I get it. I get it. You don't want to show all your cards. I get it. I get it. I do. I get it. That makes sense. Wow. Well, I don't know. They gave him a soft deadline of Sunday to get this figured out, and we're now past that deadline. So I'm wondering how much longer we're going to go in the tooth.
The reports I heard today, that Pittsburgh has not gave Aaron Rodgers any kind of deadline.
No, they gave him a soft deadline. It wasn't a hard deadline.
That's not what the insiders are. That's not what in Rappaport and a lot of the NFL insiders are saying. He said today that in Rappaport did that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in no hurry and have not given Aaron Rodgers any kind of deadline of when he needs to make a decision.
That's interesting. I can't imagine anybody just not having a deadline of some sort, whether it be told or not. I mean,
like he said, the time they really wanted to have it done by would be the draft. So that'd be the next time that there would be any kind of like urgency for them to have to get it done. He said,
and correct me if I'm wrong,
to make a decision.
Right. So really, what day is the draft on? I know it's mid-April, correct? Like April 20th or something like that, I think.
It's not April 20th, but I'm not sure exactly when it is.
I know it's in April. I just couldn't remember what specific day it was on.
It's usually what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Well, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I think it's usually on a Thursday night starting. First round and a Friday and a Saturday.
I wonder if I can type this faster than what Gonzo can do. April 24th.
April 24th to the 26th.
And 26th.
At Lambeau Field.
Yeah. So April 24th. So that was 4 days off. Either way. So they got till April 24th to get this thing figured out. So that's what, 3.5 weeks? So we should. I wonder how far or how deep into that 3.5 weeks they're going to go before they say, okay, we need to get this figured out before we hit up.
I think it's any time now. It could be this week, it could be next week, but like I said, I think Pittsburgh's got their mind made up. It's just they're waiting on Rodgers to decide. That's just my opinion.
And I kind of go with what Frankie was saying, where Aaron Rodgers loves to be in the limelight and loves to be talked about.
He don't wait till April 23rd. April 23rd into April 24th. Then he's going to come out with the video on Pat McAfee at 1 o'clock in the morning, the day of the draft.
I wonder, you know what, though? Seriously, I wonder if him and Pat McAfee under the table, down in the garage basement, in total secrecy said, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be on your show. How are we going to maximize the money on this? Okay. All right. So this is our game plan. All right. Bet. Break.
Now, if he's doing that, if that's what he's wanting to do on McAfee's show, it'll be next Wednesday, April 9th, because McAfee's doing a big live show called the Big Night Out in Pittsburgh. So if Rodgers was going to do that, if Rodgers was going to do anything with McAfee, that's when it would be done. They would do it. He would do it live.
I wouldn't be shocked.
He would do it live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at that big show that excuse me, sold out in an hour and 92 minutes. McAfee sold that building out. Now has released another 1,700 tickets on Wednesday, and I'm sure they'll sell out in probably 15, 20 minutes. And then plus it's going to be streamed live on YouTube and TikTok, Twitter. So if he's going to do anything with McAfee, it'll be on April 9th.
Yeah, McAfee or not.
Because
it would be a big arena like
be
that
live in Pittsburgh that night. Because McAfee's putting on that big.
So we got a modern day LeBron James, Aaron Rodgers-esque decision.
We got. Wait. Are you saying we got? Are we predicting decision 2.0?
Yes.
I don't think that it's going. That's what. I don't think that's what he's waiting on, but I'm just saying if he's going to do something with McAfee, I think that's when it would be.
Yeah,
well, that would be. Watch this. I ain't got no crystal ball, but damn, now that you said all that, yeah, I can absolutely see that happening. Absolutely, because that's what Aaron Rodgers loves. Aaron Rodgers loved that kind of attention. That's a big gala of attention for him.
Chris, did you see who was helping McAfee with all the production for that show?
Yeah, he announced it when he announced the show that WWE was doing.
Yeah, WWE's doing all the production for that show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, think about it. Nobody does an entrance like WWE does. And he's got connections with WWE. Even before that, they're doing something.
They're doing all the state. They're doing the stage setup, all that. He said.
And WWE is going to get a nice little kickback. I mean, they're going to get theirs too. That's nice. That's interesting, though. That's interesting. Man, that's going to be okay.
According to McAfee, he's gonna lose money doing the show.
Well, they're doing big money giveaways and everything.
With all the,
but you know what though,
with all
Gonzo?
the production and with all the production and everything, he said he'll lose money, but it's worth it in the long run
Well,
because of all the exposure and,
Oh, yeah,
and everything else.
Well,
Hey,
'cause
watch
he
this.
didn't charge-
Hey, look.
He didn't
you know
charge real
what, though?
expensive.
No, and he
tickets.
kept the tickets cheap because like the most expensive ticket to get in was $95. Like he kept it. He wanted to be affordable. It was you get in for $20. Tickets as cheap as $20, and the most expensive one was $95.
Yeah, he got to go use some of that money. He got to write. He'll lose money on maybe on the actual venue or content itself, but on the back end, all the deals it's going to come out of it. The all the press, all the sponsors, and all that all the future opportunity. Trust me, he's going to get all that money back. I mean, he might lose it initially, but he'll get it back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He said.
Yeah, he's McAfee's a pretty smart guy, and plus
But he damn sure ain't stupid. That's for sure.
well, the thing about it is he's put himself around people that are successful, and he listens. He sits
Yeah.
back and he watches and he listens, and he's not afraid to ask questions.
See, they're giving away. He's giving away over $1 million live to people in the arena at that show, and then he's going to be giving away a bunch of money to people watching online as well. So there's going to be
Oh yeah,
millions of dollars given away that night.
Pat, it must be nice to know Pat, high roller Pat, man. Damn.
But dude, he gives away money. He gives away money every day on his regular show.
Yeah.
He gives away a few $1,000s every day to fans. They'll do a contest at the end where somebody, and if they make the shot, it'll be for 30 fans.
I've seen him do that.
You get
Yeah.
$500-$600.
What I saw was a field goal kick. He does those field goal kicks for money.
Yeah, he does that on game day. But I'm just talking about his regular show, everyday show.
Yeah.
He gives away money on it almost every day as well to like 30 to 50 fans.
That's the one thing I want to win and say that I've actually won.
Well, what they say? The number one rule of business: you got to spend money to make money, baby.
Yep, exactly.
Jeez, Glenn, you know that you do that all the time.
Absolutely.
Man,
I think Rodgers ends up with the Steelers. I think Minnesota is going to stay with McCarthy. I think they've, from what I've read what O'Connell said to Pelissaro. I'm going to watch it later because I like watching it better than reading it. But because he had that interview with Pelissaro, that's where a lot of this stuff was coming from. And other than him just saying that he was our he coming out and saying JJ McCarthy's our starting quarterback, he said everything else. Like he said, he showed us last year. I believe that hopefully with what I saw last year, he's going to be able to lead us this year. So I mean, the way he made it sound, he's going to be the starter. I think they're looking for a backup. I don't think. Even though I'd like to see Rodgers go there because I think it'd be fun. I think Minnesota's staying with McCarthy, and Kevin O'Connell's putting all his chips in that bag, and it could come back to get him because you're passing up on. I mean, you had a guy with Sam Darnold that won you 14 games last year, and you didn't try to keep him.
That still blows my mind. That still blows my mind.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be McCarthy in Minnesota, and I think Rodgers is going to end up in Pittsburgh.
I mean, that seems to be the logical way that's going to play out. I mean, if that, I can see it playing out like that. On all honesty, yeah. Talking about drafts and things in football. I have seen now some reports where Ashton Denty could actually slide down to the Saints at 20. Just purely on positional need. I don't know if y'all seen those reports or not. And then a friend of mine, Bo, he was saying that he thinks that Shador could either go at Cleveland at 2, that Dion kind of blessed off on it, for him to go to Cleveland at 2. And if Cleveland doesn't make the move on him, then he could slide down to number 9 and go to the Saints. Vrabel has kind of come out and said that he likes the whole Travis Hunter thing. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even he tries to make a trade up to grab a Travis Hunter because it gives him a receiver to complement Stephon Diggs in packages, but it also gives him another secondary player in that backfield. So he's actually getting two positions for the price of one.
If I was Mike Vrabel, I would definitely take as a flyer on Travis Hunter in that way.
Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, everybody keeps talking about the 2-for-1 deal. I wonder how much he's going to be able to do because, I mean, I think he's going to be more one than the other. I mean, like I said, I think he'll be, in my opinion, I think he'll be a defensive back with maybe some packages as a receiver. That's my opinion. Some people got it in their head that he's going to be playing 25 plays on each side of the ball. I don't believe that.
No, that's kind of what Vrabel was saying. He would be the primary position of DB, and then in certain packages he would do wide receiver, which again is perfect because look, even when he was at Colorado, when he was playing multiple games at dual positions, he was getting hurt. So there's no way physically.
No.
I think he plays, wide receiver at a constant level because his body won't be able to handle it.
No, not in the NFL. It's a different game than college. I just don't think it'd work out. I think he'd burn out real quick.
I think he'll get used. Just Deion played two ways. With the Cowboys. I don't know if he did it with the 49ers, but I know he did it with the Cowboys. And they didn't use him every play, but every now and then they would put him in certain packages. I think that's the way the Giants or whoever takes Travis. They would use him that way.
If I was drafting him, I'm drafting him to be a wide receiver, and then if he does play both ways, he play a little bit on defense. I don't think he's big enough to be a full-time defender and cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah.
If you look at other guys, you look at a lot of the cornerbacks, he'd be undersized, and I don't think his body would be able to hold up on the wear and tear. I think he'd be better off as playing the majority of his snaps on the offensive side of the ball.
Do you think he's big enough to be a big-time receiver?
Yeah.
Speaking of drafts and prospects and big enough or fast enough, Scatabo ran a 4.57. And I wonder if that's going to hurt him a little bit, and if he's going to slide, how far he slides down the board before he gets drafted.
His stock got helped a lot there in the bowl games and stuff.
Right.
He did pretty well. A lot of people didn't know who he was, and they were real impressed with some of his stuff. Because I think before that, a lot of people didn't think he'd get drafted.
Right.
And so I don't think he's a first rounder. What do you think he can go second or third round?
Yeah, probably. That's what I figured.
I'm thinking third. Honestly, I'm thinking third round is probably where, given the position and needs and how many running backs are in the class, I could see a third round selection being viable.
And don't get me wrong, I like the kid. I hope he's successful.
Yeah.
I hope wherever he goes, I hope he becomes a starter. I hope he makes a whole hell of a lot of money. I like the guy. I just don't think he's a first rounder.
Yeah. Glenn, I don't know if you were tracking, but Will freaking Greer's our backup, and we need a running back because I don't believe that either two that we got are going to get the damn job done. Where do you think Dallas drafts at number 12 in the first, and where do you see them drafting at number 12 in the second and third rounds? Because we've got some, and we also need offensive linemen. How do you see that rolling for the Cowboys?
I think we need to get linemen first and get the running back right after, or flip-flop either one, really. Because, with Zach Martin retiring and stuff, that's a big hole that needs to be filled quickly.
The follow-on question to that is, do you think Ewers would last past the third round?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't think he'll be drafted before the third round.
I think he's a mid-late round guy.
And the reason why I asked you that question is I believe what you're saying is true. I think you go O-line first. I think you can come back and get your running back in the second round, because with as many of them that are out there, I think you can get a pretty good one in that second round. And then I think you try to go Quinn Ewers in the third round to give yourself a decent backup quarterback. Or if you're not going to do if you're not going to draft a quarterback in the draft, then we need to make a move on Drew Lock and Drew Lock as our backup quarterback.
Now, what we need to do is try to go sign Anthony Richardson last play.
Oh, sweet. Oh, oh,
bad idea.
oh.
But anyways, to get back on track, Drew. I would say if we don't draft one, we should definitely attempt to get Drew Lock.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm glad you threw the Pacers in there though, because I was gonna ask the Pacer boys if if Anthony Richardson gets beat out, and if Daniel Jones actually does you guys' starting spot, what do you think is going to happen to Richardson after that? Do you think he's just going to accept a permanent backup role, or do you think they're going to try to deal him and see if they can get picks? What do you think becomes of Richardson if he's not able to get bought out, or if he's not able to secure the starting role?
I think he'll end up on the Raiders, honestly. But I don't see him working out much in the NFL if he doesn't work out with the Colts. I can see him being like the former Colts player that we had that ended up in the USFL, or not the USFL, but the UFL. I forget his name. Chris and Tony will know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I think he was a quarterback.
Yep.
I think he's correct. Yeah, I can't remember the name, but
that tells you everything you need to know. If you can't remember the name, he really didn't amount to a whole hell of beans.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think with Richardson? If he gets beat out by Daniel Jones,
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
Yes. Oh, yep. That's the name.
Oh man, yeah, okay, yeah.
I think
Houston. I think he was Houston's UFL quarterback.
I think Richardson will get another shot somewhere. If he gets beat out, he won't be with the Colts next year. That's my opinion. I don't think they trade him this year. I think he'd be their backup quarterback for the season, and then he would be gone some way. I don't know how they would do it, but in some way he would be gone, and then I think he would get another opportunity. He's too young, and I think somebody would take a chance on him. Maybe not necessarily as a starter right away. They may say, "Hey, we'll let you come in and have a shot at it. Try to win the position."
Right.
I think if he loses out to Daniel Jones, he'll be with the Colts this year as a backup. Next year, they'll trade him for what they can get out of him, and I think he's going to end up basically like a Trey Lance type guy that somebody will bring him in maybe to be a backup or on the practice squad or something. And he'll just have to hope he gets lucky and gets another opportunity. I think he can end up kind of like a Trey Lance guy where you don't hear much from him ever again.
I think a good backup place for him to go and to learn would be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have thought, and the reason I say I don't know, because I'd have thought the perfect coach for him would have been Shane Steichen, who worked with a guy a lot like him and Jalen Hurts, and look what he done for Jalen Hurts. And Steichen ain't been. And I know he was hurt the first season, but Steichen ain't been able to do much with him in the season and a season and a half or the 2 seasons he had.
Again, I'm not taking up for the kid. It was a poor choice to get him. He played 16 effing games in college. He played very little. It wasn't like he played 3 or 4 seasons. Hurts played a lot more football. I think that's
like a season and a half.
No, I agree with you, but it's the same. It's the same thing that's going to happen this year. It's going to happen to these guys this year. That you got guys that these quarterbacks are going to get drafted that are not first round guys, but they're going to get drafted as their top 10 draft picks, and they're going to get thrown out there and expect to turn a franchise around when they're not ready, and then they just get pushed off the side, and you might not ever get another chance.
Yeah, it was a.
I mean, because like you said, they shouldn't have took him, which I agree, but there wasn't. Honestly, they shouldn't have took a quarterback that year.
Nope.
At number 4, there was no quarterback worth the fourth round draft pick. Levis wasn't worth it. Anthony Richardson, they should have traded back. And if you wanted Richardson, get him later in the first round if he was still there.
Yeah, he was.
He's not a, because once you spend a fourth overall pick on a guy, now you got all this pressure to play him and play him, and you're playing him before he's ready, and then it don't work out, and then now you're basically back where you was a couple years ago.
It was a
piss. And Chris, with the local radio here in town, man, they're already saying that he's out the door. So
Don't get me wrong. I hope the kid comes out and he don't have to throw 70% of his passes. If he can get up from 47 to about 57, 60%, the type of football he plays and the way he runs the football, and if he stays healthy, he could be very successful. And I hope he is. I hope the kid's successful for the kid's sake, not just the coach's sake. I don't want anybody to fail. I'm not these guys that are happy because somebody breaks an ankle and bullshit like that. I don't want to see professional players.
Oh, you're not a Frankie Cruz Jr.?
No, I'm not Frankie Cruz Jr. or anybody that's happy because somebody gets hurt. I think that's a fucking joke.
Yeah, Frankie loves it when KD gets hurt. Oh,
I don't care who it is that gets hurt. I don't care who. I hated Tom Brady, and I never want Tom Brady to get hurt. And I had every right to hate Tom Brady because Tom Brady beat the shit out of us all the time.
Yes.
What do they say? Hey, how does it go? If people aren't wishing you'd get hurt, you're not doing your job right.
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm just not built that way. I'm not built that way.
I got you. Torpedo bats. Torpedo bats. Well, I hope the Astros got an order in for some torpedo bats as well as what the Yankees are doing with the torpedo bat.
Well, I'll tell you who better would be ordering some torpedo bats is the Atlanta Braves.
Man, yeah.
They got off to a bad start.
They might
not a
need
great
more.
start.
Yeah, they might need more than torpedo
I don't
bats.
I don't think these torpedo bats has as much to do with the Yankees start as people are trying to make it out to be.
It's because it's the Yankees. That's why.
Because the Yankees aren't the only team that has used some of these torpedo bats, and there's also players on the Yankees team that aren't using the torpedo bat that's crushing the ball as well. So I think it's been made a bigger deal than what it really is.
I don't know. They've done a lot of research though on that bat, and that bat actually is really very well put together. The way that they move the wood from the top down and the bottom up to get more of that wider in that sweet spot really does help out get more surface area on that baseball. So you're not fouling it, you're not tipping it. You actually get more control on it. I mean, that bat is designed pretty well. I got to give him credit. I'm
not saying it's not designed well. What I'm saying is I don't think it's the sole reason that they got off to a good start. I think there's a bigger deal being made out of it because if that bat was the sole reason that the Yankees got off to a good start, every player in Major League Baseball would have been using those bats because everybody's had the opportunity to get those bats. It ain't like the Yankees are the only ones that have those bats.
There's certain teams that's going to be made more out of the Dodgers.
That's what I mean.
The Yankees, maybe even Houston, because people would love to jump on Houston's cheating. Everybody would want to jump on that bandwagon again. If it was the Marlins who came out and scored 40 runs in the first 3 games, and everybody talked about them bats, it wouldn't be near as big a deal. I don't think. I'm not saying it wouldn't be reported, but it wouldn't be as big a deal as because it's the Yankees or the Dodgers, or like I said, people jump on the Astros too because people love to jump on the Astros.
Sure they'll jump on the Astros. Hell, they jump on the Astros now, man. I get constant. You know how many text messages I get from Gonzo every day about? No, I'm kidding. Gonzo don't text me except for the big, middle finger. But other than that, Gonzo, man. But no, you're right. I mean, if it was Astros that did this right now, they would be all over it. Jonathan Mathis would be doing it. Frankie Cruz Jr. would be doing it. Everybody would be doing it.
I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, we'll see how the season goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, they did say that a lot of the teams now are putting in for orders for the torpedo bat. So I think it's going to be good to see. And I hope they do, because then you can see across the league if they massively roll it out and then all these home runs start going out of nowhere. Well, then you're going to know that, okay, maybe it is a thing. And if it doesn't, if it just stays status quo or only goes up just a tiny bit, well, then it really didn't have an effect at all, really.
The dude on McAfee show said everybody needs to get the torpedo bats. They need to juice the freaking ball, and we need to have home runs hit like crazy and get the league going back. And nobody needs to take steroids.
Yeah.
Juice that ball. Let's have 10 home runs every game.
I don't know. It's interesting. I do think technology has done pretty well, though.
Baseball's in a good spot right now where the game's at.
I don't disagree.
If it turned into just all home runs, then people are going to get At first, people might like it, but then it's going to be just like the NBA with the damn 3-point shot. And because look what happened with baseball with the shift. It turned into basically you either had to hit a home run, or because it took away so much of the base hits and the extra base hits and doubles and stuff. And what people do, they quit. Some people quit watching baseball because there's no action anymore, or the games take too long. Well, what they do? They've made more action by taking the shift away, and we're getting more hits, more stolen bases. Games are quicker with the pitch clock. All the ratings are up in baseball. If it goes back to where it's just all about hitting home runs, it's eventually going to be like the NBA, where people are just going to be bitch. I don't want to watch. All it is them chucking up threes. I don't want to watch baseball. It is a bunch of guys striking out because all they're trying to do is hit home runs.
Hit a home run, yeah.
I think baseball right now is in one of the best spots they've been in years, really, if you look with the product they're putting out and with fans getting behind it.
Yeah, I've been to games where there's been a lot of home runs, and it's fine, it's fun. But then when I watch baseball, I always liked small ball. I always liked, let's see some bunts, let's see some stolen bases. I mean, back in the day, it just seemed, and Jay, you may know more, but at least me in the 70s, it seemed like a lot more people were stealing bases in the 70s
they were.
and the 80s.
Yeah, they were.
And I miss that. I want to see more stolen bases. I want to see more strategy, more hit and run, more bunts. That's what I like. That's just me personally, and in case I'm old as dirt too. But I like that strategy part of baseball. That's just me.
Well, I like that. So hey, real quick. So this MIT guy, he's the one that came up with this bat. His name is Leonhardt. He's an MIT guy, and he said, "I'm going to fix this situation with the bat." So basically, he started to consider the problem in a different way. Imagine he told players every bat has a wood budget. A specific amount of weight, usually 31 to 32 ounces, to be distributed over a specific length. How could they invest in a disproportionate amount of that budget on the barrel without throwing off the remainder of the equipment? And that's how they said, we're going to sweeten down or fatten down the middle part of the bat, not so much the tip of the bat, which is where most of the balls are hit. So I think you're getting a bigger sweet spot than what you've normally had in the past on these bats. And that's where I mean, I'm not saying it's all of it, Gonzo, because you still got to know how to hit the ball. You still got to make contact. You still got to do all those things. But having that bat or having that width of the bat at a certain spot, especially at the professional level, it can impact it a little bit. How much, I don't know yet. We'll find out more.
I'll say it don't impact the sun, but that's not the reason that's not the main reason the Yankees scored all those runs over the weekend.
Okay. Well, I mean, they did have Goldschmidt on there. I mean, they did pick up something. They got Bellinger on there. I mean, they picked up some good pieces. So, I mean, that team has gotten better offensively.
Are you telling me in all these years of baseball we've never seen a team score 20-something runs in one weekend?
I didn't say that. But how often?
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
No, we've seen it. We've seen that happen.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, it's not all just because of a bat.
I think it was the amount of home runs that happened so early on. I think they had 7 home runs. I think by the 5th or 6th inning. I mean, that's unheard of. You don't see it happen so fast. But let's say that you haven't gotten 20 runs in the game, But a lot of those, I have to go back and look at the stats. How many of that was walks, hit by pitch, whatever the case may be, right? But I don't know. We'll see. And I think the telltale sign is going to be as more of these teams adopt that torpedo style bat. If the home run ratio goes up across the board, across the league, then you're going to know that bat did have an influence. But if it doesn't, and it just stays normal, then to your point, Gonzo, the bat really didn't have as much as people think. So I think that's just kind of a time will tell thing for me.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. Like I said, you got to give it a few series. See. I mean, what if the Yankees over the next 3 games only score 2 runs? I mean, you just don't. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? Maybe they hit another 10 home runs. Teams can get hot, and the bat could have a lot of effect. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If Volpe ends up the season with 41 home runs, I'm gonna absolutely tell you it's the bat. That's just not Volpe. That's not how Volpe hits. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of people used to say that's not how Barry Bonds hit, and then look, Barry Bonds turned into a 70 home run a year guy. And when
Yeah, they
because
also
of
said the
that,
same thing about Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. What have they all got in common? I'm not going to say it, but you can imagine what I'm implying. All three of them got one thing in common.
yeah, they were three of the best hitters in baseball.
There you go. I know that's you know what? I'm going to ride with that. We're going to ride or die with that. Oh, fuck that crap, man. You know that shit was steroids. Shut up. You know, come on. You know damn good well.
Who else was taking steroids? There was a pitcher. was it Nolan Ryan was taking steroids?
No, I don't think Nolan did.
There was one pitcher that did, but
Well, there was more than one, but
yeah,
there was one pitcher that got crucified for it. That was Clemens.
Clemens. My fault. I was thinking of Clemens, not Ryan. Roger Clemens did.
Yeah. I still think that, and I'm going to continue that fight. I do believe there needs to be a Hall of Fame for the steroid era. I mean, because it really did save baseball.
There don't need to be a Hall of Fame for the steroid era. Them guys should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, there needs to be a hall. I didn't say a whole building, but there needs to be a hall. I'm sorry, I do. You're on steroids. It needs to be written on it. Hey, this is a steroid Hall of Fame. This is where they're at.
The reason I disagree with that is because Major League Baseball encouraged it.
Oh, they did. I mean, they didn't put the clamp down.
Well, I think because
it wasn't until the government got involved.
If they didn't encourage it, if they didn't encourage it, and they were just cheating and doing it, I don't think they should be allowed in.
Well, they were encouraging it. They were telling them a month ahead of time, hey, there's going to be a steroid.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I don't think there should be.
They were encouraging it. Absolutely, baseball.
Yeah, that's why I don't think there should be a special wing. If they was just cheating and getting by with it, then I don't think they should be in there.
It's such a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, they wait till Pete Rose dies to even consider putting him in the Hall of Fame.
That's bullshit.
And then you're right. They did encourage it. You cannot tell me they didn't. It was too widespread. It was too well known when the tests were going to come out, so that way they could stop it and show that baseball was clean. They didn't do nothing until the federal government came involved. And once the federal government got involved with that, that's when Major League Baseball put the clamp down on that.
Yep.
What's up, Frankie?
What's up, guys? My bad. Carson's teachers just left finally.
I don't know. I'm doing terrible right now in fantasy. I went from number 2 to number 5.
Yeah, I went from number 1 to number 1.
Yeah, you've been pretty lucky, man. Most of your pitchers have had games during that stretch. I think I had 2 games where I had to drop pitchers to get pitchers to keep them. It's such a weird thing. Fantasy baseball.
It's not weird. It's not weird, and it's not luck, Jay. All right, it's baseball season. It's Frankie the Yankee season. I know the hitters to get. Okay. I know what I'm doing. All right. Look at my. You don't know the.
Look
at my pitchers, right?
No.
Look at my. I don't know what. I don't know.
Every once in a while, you get lucky.
I don't know nothing. I had Nestor Cortez on the day where he was trash for the Yankees on Saturday, right? Giving up 5 home runs in like 3 innings. He got me like negative 25 points. How do I still end up with like 147 points?
Do you have a torpedo bat?
I probably do. Do. You want to know why? Because it's legal, baby. It's legal.
No, it is. It is legal. It is legal.
It's not like yeah, Chris. It's not like the Astros where we wait until the playoffs. Use different bats and stuff. We actually
whatever.
We got these bats made and actually had them approved in the beginning of the season. So we're
I don't
good.
think they were approved. They didn't come approved until people started talking about it, and then they went and looked at it. I don't think it was an approved bat at the beginning.
It got approved because they were using it in spring training, sir.
Yeah, you can't use a bat in Major League Baseball unless it's been checked and approved, guaranteed.
Okay. Typical Astro fan don't know anything about
baseball. Hell, even Little League Baseball, you gotta check every bat before the game starts to make sure that they're within the rules, or the bats can't even be in the dugouts.
Well, that's true. That's true. And Frank, you're a typical baseball fan in general. You don't know who players are after the 5th round. Shut up, sit there, be quiet. No, congratulations,
anyway.
Frankie. You are doing quite well, man. You're doing better than what I thought you were going to do.
Hey, listen, and I just made a trade. Woo!
Yeah, I saw that.
Ooh.
But you did have to give up Guerrero Jr. and other boy for one player, so I don't know. We'll see.
I gave up Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette in return. I get Aaron Judge.
Yeah, it's like I said. I think it was. The reason why I didn't mess with that trade is because I felt like it was a good swap on both ends. So, yeah. That was actually a really good trade, honestly. But I think for the both of you.
I know. I got with Cody quick, and I said, Frankie the Yankee can't have a league without his captain. His captain deserves to be in the right, ownership, in the right fantasy team. Give him up. Come on. What do you want for Judge? And he's like, I want this. And I'm like, done deal. I talked with the GM. I talked to my manager. We all were in agreement that was a good deal. And now we got Aaron Judge coming home. But anyway, Chris, Tony, how are your Reds doing, man? We took care of business for them Brewers for you. We exposed them for you guys.
Well, second place. We'll see.
We put them in last place for you guys. Tony, that was for you, Tony, because now you know they're not playoff worthy.
Yeah, the Reds are 1-2. And they go up against the Rangers tonight at 3-1. That's gonna. I really need the Reds to handle business. I need you guys to mollywop the Rangers so that way I can get a little bit more of a lead on them. So handle business tonight, Gonzo, Tony. Y'all handle business tonight. I need y'all to handle business.
I hope so. What the hell's going on with the Atlanta Braves, man?
Oh no, hold on. Before we get there, let's talk about Devers real quick. And the reason why I talk about him is he put up such a stink about going from third base to DH and letting Bregman take over third base. And this guy's got 12 strikeouts already on this season. Like, what's going on with this guy?
I don't think it has much to do of him switching from third base to DH. I think it's more of him not finding his swing. Or maybe he's swinging too slow. I don't really know, Jay, and I don't really care, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. I hope he goes hitless for 159 more games. I don't care. I'm loving it. Like McDonald's, baby. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What a time to be alive. I'm sorry, Chris. Gonzo, what were you going to say?
What the hell's going on with the Braves? They got off to a terrible start.
Yeah, I was talking with Logan about that. I was like, "Did you expect this?" It's like, "No." I said, "Yeah, I didn't expect this either." But you know what? Though? I will tell you, coming from a guy who, has had the Astros get off to slow starts. Matter of fact, historically, we were known for getting off to slow starts, only to finish up well. I just think it's a slow start for the Braves. They're going to right that ship over there. I don't think they're going to. It's not. That's going to stay like that. I think they get off to a slow start. But they're going to have to get it routed up, or get it turned in real quick, so they don't get too far down the tooth. But I think that's just a slow start on their part, to be honest with you, Tony. I think it's just a slow start.
Yeah, I haven't been thrilled with the red start, but hey, it's a long, long season, so hopefully we get.
That's one thing about baseball: you get off to a slow start and still recover.
Yep.
Unlike other sports where if you don't get it done by X number of weeks, you're pretty much just done.
We've seen teams be in last place at All-Star break and come back and win the division and win the World Series.
Oh, absolutely. Padres are looking good, Tony. I think you said the Padres early on were going to have a good season.
I like the Padres. I don't know why. I don't know if it's bad management. I don't know if it's the players don't take it seriously, but they've got a ton of talent.
Yeah, absolutely. We're playing the Giants tonight. We got 2-1 versus 2-1, so that should be interesting to see. Again, because I think the Giants got a pretty good squad over there. So we just took the series from the Mets. I was happy about that. Now I want to see if we can take the series from the Giants. I'm gonna start feeling a little bit more comfortable about some of these new players that we got in the rotation. With Rogers in there, Cam Smith in there, Paredes in there. I need another really good winning season. They need to win one more series for me to start feeling better about some of these new guys they put in place, and especially with putting Altuve out in left field. I forget who gets to start tonight, but
Blanco.
Is Blanco getting the call up tonight?
Yeah, I tried getting him on fantasy, but the waiver won't clear until tomorrow, so I had to cut that.
Yeah, so did I. Great minds think alike.
I mean, I was just trying to get the best available pitcher. I didn't want to keep scrolling down to the worst one, but I had to do it anyway.
Yeah, your team is trash.
That's why we're in first place. That's why I'm in first place.
Hey, I'm glad you're. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. And I think Tony's the one that pointed that out, and I forgot about. We play you tonight in LA.
Yes, Houston and Lakers tonight.
Yeah, baby. Now we're gonna get down to some nitty gritty. I can't wait till tomorrow's show. I might not even.
I'm probably not gonna watch. Honestly, I don't want to see my team get embarrassed the way Phoenix did last night. I don't want someone on my team twisting an ankle like KD did last night, which was absolutely.
Did you see the way
enjoyable.
that foot went? Did you see that foot? Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
yeah, I did. It was enjoyable. I laughed. My heart was full with joy. I prayed to the heavens, thanking the basketball gods for giving me such a gift this early. It's not even Christmas, and they gave me such a great gift. I mean, and we got the news. I got the news earlier that he's going to be out for 1 week. So this is going to be one of the greatest weeks of my life.
We actually put over 50 points on the Phoenix Suns. Our bench put over almost 50 points on them. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't know if they just had a bad defensive day and just didn't know what to do or what, but they didn't. No, they did not play well at all. And I'm pretty sure Sacramento is now in the 10th spot. Dallas has moved up to the 9th spot, and now Phoenix is out of the tournament as it stands currently. Yeah, so we'll see how that rolls out. And I think the Pacers just came off a win. You guys, didn't you, Tony?
I think we lost our last game, didn't we?
Did you lose the last one?
Yep.
Unless I looked at the wrong week, which is true.
Yeah, we played tonight, I think.
Yeah, I believe we played tonight.
Who do you guys play?
Sacramento.
You should get that win.
They don't want to say nothing, Jay.
No. That's why I'm saying it for them, because I'm totally jinxing them right now.
Don't even say it for them. Look at Tony. He's like, he's thinking in his head, like, don't say shit for us, Jay.
How do you think this fight and all this is going to affect the Pistons?
Man, woo, it depends on how much of an ejection they get. Brooks had a tanglement last night with KD, and he got ejected. I don't know what they're going to do with him. But Reed and I forget the other guy's name went at it after he tried to go to the basket, and it wound up everybody was in that skirmish. Even the coaches were in this skirmish.
Yep.
That's bad when the coaches themselves are in this. When the coaches are fighting coaches, yeah, let that sit in.
All I know is somebody need to cut their nails because DiVincenzo came out with a crazy scratch on his neck, man.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. Yeah, he sure did. Man, Bulls play the Thunder. I wonder if the Bulls could snap the Thunder's win streak right now. I think the Thunder's win streak, if I'm not mistaken, is 9-1. And I think their win streak is at 9 over the last 10. And I think that's where the Rockets are 9-1 on their last 10. So I'm wondering if who's going to break the Thunder's win streak. I'm hoping it's the Bulls tonight. That would be really nice.
The Bulls been on fire.
Frank, y'all got any injuries over there going up against us tonight?
Not that I know of. I didn't get no news injuries. I think we're fully healthy. It's going to come down to, defense because realistically, I watched that game with Houston. If I'm not mistaken, honestly, I watched the last 2 games with Houston and the last 2 games that they played. And I didn't notice, Jay, that you guys had like 3 7-foot guys on your team.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, shit. Like, I seen that last night. And I'm like, damn, well, somebody going to have to step up tomorrow because let me tell you something. If they're going to come in, and I know the Rockets right away, their mindset and their mentality is attack that paint because we don't have nobody to protect it. So, I mean, somebody's going to have to step up. Jackson Hayes, Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, some of those non-7-foot guys, but the big guys on the Lakers, they're going to have to step up and defend that paint really well if we're going to want to win this game.
Just your tracking. Braun is a game time decision. They do have him listed as probable for playing tonight, but he is. I guess he suffered a left groin injury. I think they keep that on file.
That's the same groin that from the Celtics. It's say game time, but he's going to play. Like this is like a must win for the Lakers. Especially if they want to go to second place, because we still have a chance to reach up to second place. Because we play you guys not just tonight, but we play you guys again in I think 2 weeks.
Well, so, that is exactly correct.
These two games coming up with the Rockets, it's a most must win games against you guys.
So currently the Rockets have a 3.5 game lead over the Lakers, and we have a 2 game lead over Denver. So we're all right there in the pocket. And then, like you said, we have 2 games against you. So you could if you're able to get those 2 wins, you could very much easily close that.
I want
gap.
to ask Chris and Tony something. How did you guys feel about Memphis firing their head coach with literally only like 9 to 10 games left into the season?
I didn't think it made any sense.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
You're in the 5th seed. You're going to be in the playoffs. You only have 9 games left. If you want to get rid of them, just wait till the season's over.
I think they was actually tied for the 4th seed.
No, we beat them on Saturday, so that knocks them out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, when they actually did it, they were tied for 4th.
Oh yeah. Which was weird too, because they did it the day before having to play for that 4th seed.
Didn't make any sense, man.
Do you think it's based because of Ja? Because Ja Morant went out on social media, it seemed like he was pissed. But then there's other news going around saying, they basically did it for the game style of Ja, letting Ja Morant do what he can do on the court and not be held back by the coach.
Well, didn't they say that they felt like he had lost the team? I thought that was what they were saying.
Yeah, according to the article, the official word is they fired him because they felt he lost control of the locker room. That's the technicality that they put on the press conference. But
I think that's mind blowing because this is one coach that literally like goes crazy on the courts against officials when something bad is called or when nothing is getting called. This is the first man that's on the court defending his players and his other, the other teammates around. So for them to just even go out and say he lost, I don't think he lost the locker room. They're just saying what they got to say. I think it's mind blowing to me. Like, wait till the end of the season. Like, you're still going to the playoffs.
Well, I don't know many teams that a coach has lost a locker room and a team is still in the top 5 in their conference.
I get that.
Usually, if a coach loses the locker room, the team is pretty damn terrible.
I mean, look at Phoenix, right? Phoenix, that coach definitely lost the locker room. Because last year when they had Frank Vogel, they were top 15 defense. This year they get a new coach. They're in the top 30, like they're in the bottom like 30. And they're like, you were in the playoffs, then in the play-in. Now you're outside looking in. And yet he's still on the roster.
Yeah, that is weird. That's crazy. That is crazy, actually, when you think about it.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and fire the guy from Memphis. Even though he got us into the 5th seed, he lost the locker room. So I think we should fire him. That's insane. It's mind blowing. The NBA is crazy,
especially with them being in the playoff position.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he just took them to the Western Conference Final not so long ago. So I mean, it's insane.
Well, on that
that's
note,
like the Pacers. That's like the Pacers going to the NBA Finals, not winning it, but then next year still be like a 1st seed in the East, and then they get rid of Rick Carlisle. Like that will be that would be great. That's kind of what it feels like.
I understand the point you're making. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you just had it. That's the official thing they put out was he lost control of the locker room, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more to that, and that's just the political answer that they gave.
Oh, he definitely slept with someone in the front office, probably.
Yeah.
I would not.
He did your coach. He did what your coach did, Jay, in Boston.
Hey, listen, leave my coach alone. He's doing great. I won't let nobody talk back about Ime Udoka unless he loses, and then I'll be the first one. But until then, nobody talks about him. Unless your name is Tony.
Can you guys beat Oklahoma City, though? We sure as hell did.
You shut your pie hole. You shut your pie hole.
Jay, just
no. Actually, Frankie, he actually did the right thing. You're right. I don't think we can beat OKC. No, we can't. No, we're gonna get our asses handed to us. Yeah.
There you go. See, Jay's not like me. I go out and I say Shannon Sharp shit. UFC, KFC, OKC don't matter. Lakers in 5.
He'll be like,
I'll tell you this. When it comes to sports, I am very superstitious, though, man. I am so superstitious on sports. Man.
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
am too. But I don't listen to Jay. Chris, I don't listen to Jay. Chris. Jay
Chris,
always
tell
every
him
year
what's
for
up over there.
every year for baseball. Jay's over here trying to tell me, reverse psychology. Reverse psychology. I'm gonna tell you right now. When Thursday came around, I told Chris, I told Tony, I told Jay, Yankees are gonna smash the Brewers, and they did.
And they did.
They smashed them.
So are you saying that the Yankees are going to win the World Series?
No, I'm not saying that. That's way too early.
No, I just wanted to see if I could get you to go into that.
No, that's way too early.
I'll tell you this though. Hey, I'll tip my hat to you, man. I mean, you guys are, in terms of at least in the American League side of it, man. You guys are killing it, man. You're killing it. And I think in the National League side, I mean, they got a lot of good stuff over there between San Diego, what San Diego's doing, what St. Louis is started off, and the way that LA obviously has started off. I mean, yeah, there's some good stuff over there. Even though it's only one series in, it's good. Well, all right, Gonzo.
What was you gonna say to Jay when he said something about superstition?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no,
Chris,
no,
he was
Oh no, he was gonna
struggling
say something. He was gonna say something. I want to hear it. I want to hear what he's gonna tell Jay. I want to see Jay cry before we leave.
No, it wasn't nothing about Jay. It was about what came across the bottom of TV that Stanford hired Frank Reich as an interim head coach for next year.
I seen that.
Why the hell you going to hire a guy as an
now-
interim coach? That makes no
makes
damn
sense.
sense.
I thought I saw his name linked in there. I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I
I
thought I
understand why they
saw
hired him because of Andrew Luck as the GM now. But why would you hire him as an interim? That don't make no damn sense. If you're gonna hire him.
He just keep going backwards, don't he?
All right, you guys have anything else before we get out of here?
Pacers get it tonight against the Kings.
What'd you say, Glenn? Say it again. Say it again.
The
And
Pa-
Tony, you heard me?
I'm not going on the limb saying they're going to be in my third or anything that's similar to the Heat. I say the Pacers get it done tonight.
What? He just jinxed it. I can't wait for the Pacers to lose, and Tony just comes back in the group message and say, "Glenn, just don't come on the show ever again when the Pacers
Oh, yeah, I'm
play."
gonna have Glenn. If we lose tonight, I'm gonna have Glenn banned.
And I didn't say it the same way that I did when I said against Miami. So
No, you didn't.
And
I'm gonna
Miami
go
was
watch. I'm gonna go watch Raw.
Yes,
yeah,
it
hey, that
started-
probably
what time
was
does it
good, man.
start today?
Y'all missed that.
It's been on for 30 minutes.
Oh my God! What the hell? Nobody told me anything.
It started at 3.
because you're smoking weed. Get off the weed. You know this.
Yeah, Stephen A.
I
Smith.
thought it was start 4 today.
That's 3.
No, 3. On the chat, you can see where I say, "Hey, be right back." That's starting Raw. 3:04 p.m.
Frankie's always a day late and a dollar damn short. What a time to be alive. It's like when that condom busted and Carson came out. What the hell?
Coming from
Yeah,
someone who's
your wife
coming from someone who's coming
We
from someone
appreciate
whose name
everybody
is
watching. Please hit that subscribe button.
Jay
We'll
Biden.
see you guys tomorrow.
Afternoon show, we own the night. Champions scream under the light. Precious
This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
light. Heroes fall and legends rise. Twist of fate in our eyes. Heads held high, never compromise. On
What can I say?
this stage, we're on a
Mamba out.